All right, this is episode 3 of We Can't Code. It's a podcast dedicated to those that are similar like us who love games, but with the lack or know how to make our own game. So we just talk about them instead. I am Ben.
And I'm Mike. How's it going?
It's
I know it's
going,
towards
it's
you.
going
It
all
was
right.
towards you, Ben. Yeah. So, as usual, if you've been watching with us for the last 2 episodes, our first thing we like to talk about is what we've been doing for the last week. And so, Ben, what have you been playing for the last week?
Okay, you're going to laugh. I know you're going to laugh because it's kind of stupid, but I've been going to the gym and I dusted off the old We Fit You.
Oh, God.
And when I first stepped on this thing, like, I don't know, it's been about 6 days. When I first stepped on this thing 6 days ago, it measures you. It comes with like a balance board, so it measures you and it makes your avatar, your like me, I guess it's called in the Nintendo universe. So it makes your me like look like it expects you to be in real life, and I don't think I'm obese, but I guess like BMI it seems a little different. Okay, I'm just making excuses now. Anyway,
You're back.
I stepped on it and it was like measuring, and then as the scale goes up and shows you your weight, your character like really gets a beer gut. And I was like, oh God, no, a beer butt. I might have one of those too. But yeah, so I've been going to the gym, and I'm happy to say that I've lost like 3 pounds this week. So there's that, little.
Damn.
There we go. No.
Give yourself a pat back on that. Yeah, I remember when the Wii Fit came out, and just like a couple months later, I just remember just like people tell me that how it's like condescending. It's like, hey, you haven't been on here in a while. How you doing?
Oh,
and then measures your weight again, and goes like, oh, you gotten fatter.
Oh yeah, no, she's real passive aggressive with you. Like I'm making sure to step on it every single day because she gets kind of snippy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love that.
I don't
Great.
I don't use it for like the Wii Fit trainer, like the yoga positions or anything. I just go to weigh myself after the gym. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't happened yet. But I do remember back in the day, you'd step on it and it's been like, oh, Ben, it's been like, a year. How have you been? And she's just like, things are good. Yeah, no, I've been good. I've been collecting dust in the corner. No.
As you've been getting, stuff gathered in your stomach.
How was that pizza? I saw you went for a couple extra slices for dinner last night.
Not saying anything, just noticing.
Yeah, so there's that. And we don't have to... So, I mean, I don't want to get too much into it. Obviously, it's just like I've been weighing myself, and it's a game, and
It's the game, so it counts.
I don't even
So
know why I
anything
started
else?
that conversation, but whatever.
Did you play anything else? Because I noticed that you played Cuphead, and you actually released a video about that too, as well, a review.
Yeah.
And so, did you start anything else up afterwards?
Yeah, so, well, I didn't play Cuphead this week, but I made a video for it. And I guess I'll just do a quick shameless plug. But if you want to see the video, I'm starting a new channel called Dissection of Design on YouTube. Feel free to check it out. But aside from that, I played PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, just a couple games, but
Nice.
we came in second, like 2 out of the 4 games we played, so I was feeling pretty good about that.
I remember Ben used to stream a lot too, and I caught one of his games when he came in second place. And Ben was already dead during the match, but a few of his friends are playing. There were also some friends of mine too. There was 3 against 1.
Oh,
they were on the
God.
upper hand.
This is the
And-
stupidest fucking story. I still get so salty about this.
God, it was great to watch. One of them, it's a good friend of mine too, has lag up the butt. So I was just watching him through Ben's playthrough, and I literally see a guy get right in his crosshair, leave, and then our friend starts shooting. I'm like, ugh.
It was 3v1. How do you fuck that up? Like, they had prime coverage. The guy had to like run into the circle to kill them.
They were in the circle too. It was great.
God,
They had no reason to leave, and they just got mowed down by one guy. All they had to do was wait, and they just didn't. It was just fantastic.
Just just on the struggle bus
saltiness
that
from
day.
that conversation too afterwards was great.
So stupid. No, I probably haven't played since then. But no, so I picked that up yesterday, and we did pretty well. Luckily, we didn't get stomped, just like that story you just told, but it was pretty close.
In your defense, though, second place is no small feat either. That's a huge freaking deal.
Yeah, actually, okay. So here's one cool thing that happened. So we were playing yesterday, and so we were playing teams of 4.
Oh,
And,
nice.
we had to we decided to take a boat to along the coast because the the circle or the radius, if you're familiar with the game, you've got to stay inside the radius, and it was right on the coastline. So we were just going along the coast, like doing a very pacifist route, and lo and behold, we see a loot crate in the water, which it always has really good stuff, like some things you can't even find in the game normally. It's like good weapons, good equipment in general. So we find one, and we're like, oh my god, this is awesome. And we drive like maybe 20 seconds, and we're like, oh, there's another loot crate in the water. So, and no one went to go get these loot crates because they're out in the middle of nowhere, but because we brought a boat over to the area, we just passed them, and we're like, oh, maybe no one's touched them yet. And of course, they're in the middle of nowhere. So we had like this fantastic setup. So I got like this deployable, like, I don't even know. One of those. I think of like Team Fortress 2, the heavy with like Sasha, just like the 200 rounds every second. I had a gun pretty much like that. Yeah, no, a heavy machine gun.
A light machine gun's a heavy machine gun you can carry. And did it have like a bipod on it or something like that?
Whatever. But yeah, like it was a very like it had 100 rounds a clip, and it was a very heavy type of gun. But so pretty much what happened in that game is we finally get onto land, we start going inward, and we're driving, and we see this other team driving, and we both stop in the forest and start shooting at each other. Well, in PUBG, the best thing to do is to lie down because the grass is high and you can't see someone when they're totally prone. But so I've got this gun, I don't have a scope, but I've got a fuck ton of ammo. So I turn to the car and I unload and I blow up their car, and I'm like, there, now we should just leave because they're gonna be fucked as the circle closes in. And I guess there was like not good team communication, but we all decided to run in, even though they were fucked. Like, we could have just left and they would have died.
Yeah, they were fucked no matter what.
So I guess we just decided to run in. And I'm guilty as much as anyone else, but I didn't have a scope, so I just got picked off immediately, and then everyone all pretty much died simultaneously. But it was just funny to like see this car following us. We slam on the brakes, turn around, I just unload like 70 bullets into their car and blow it up. And like my whole team, we're on like voice chat, we're all laughing our asses off. No, but it was good. And then I played a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege today. Nothing special happened with that. And then I saw the new Pacific Rim trailer, the Pacific Rim 2 movie.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That looks pretty cool.
It's going to be another cheesy movie, but it looks really well made, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to see robots just fuck some monsters up, so...
No, exactly. So it just looks like a very nice movie just to sit back and just enjoy the show.
Yeah, but that was my week.
Nice.
As stupid as it is to say, it was mainly a lot of Wii Fit.
Well, for me, I actually came home this week. I came back home from work, which was nice, so I was able to download Evil Within. By the way,
finally.
Yeah, dude, that file is fucking huge.
Nice.
It took, like, even with my internet, like, I just paid for internet for my place. It took like a solid hour just to download the whole damn game. I was just like how big the file is.
So what you're telling me is you didn't play it this week, but you only downloaded it.
No, yeah, that's it. I actually didn't even touch the game yet. No, actually, I did actually play it. I got to chapter 5, and so far the game, it's not really my type of game, honestly. It's kind of bad. It's just. I don't find the game scary at all, honestly.
Man.
I don't find it scary. I find the combat is decent. It's Resident Evil style combat, third person. You have to stop moving to aim and shoot. And the weapons are nice. Ammo is actually, I'm playing the highest difficulty I can play right now, and they give you a good amount of ammo. But majority of the time, I'm actually kind of sneaking around, just stabbing people in the back of the head. My biggest complaint, though, is that these creatures don't die once you bring them down. You have to light their bodies on fire. And to do that, you carry matches with you. And this is like one of my biggest gripes of this game. You can only start off carrying 5 measly matches. I'm not saying like these matches are special. They're not magical in any way. They're just plain matches that you get in a simple matchbook. And you only can start off carrying fucking 5. That's it. You could have more in a damn matchbook than you could actually carry this guy's stupid pocket. I'm like, what the fuck? And what's also stupid too is that when you start with the pistol, and you can start carrying 10 rounds, not including the ones that go in the revolver. And I'm like, he's a police officer. How can you only carry 10 rounds on him? They're just measly pistol bullets. But you can upgrade your character to carry more bullets and more matches and more other ammunitions as you go out through the game. But yeah, which I thought was funny too when I first started playing the game, the cutscenes look worse than the actual gameplay. The game actually looks beautiful when you play the game. It's actually a very it's very high graphics game and looks fantastic when you're playing it. But when you look in the cutscenes, they're just shitty as hell. You actually see it happen when you start the game. Is like you're just driving up to a mental hospital. And it's all like this game is more all psychedelic game. It's all kind of in this guy's head, it seems like. So a lot of stuff doesn't make sense at all because you kind of teleport from scene to level almost. But like the first cutscene you're in, though, you're driving up to the hospital, and it just like the graphics just look terrible, and the characters look awful too. And then as soon as you get like they all get out of their car, and then like you get behind your character to start, the graphics just change dramatically to like HD level. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm just looking it up right now. Yeah, the game came out in 2014, so it's only been 3 years. That's kind of interesting you're talking about the graphics like that. But, I mean,
the
hey,
graphics still hold up today. The game looks beautiful. It handles pretty well. The shooting is... I have trouble sometimes with the shooting, because I have to... I'm not the best shooter out there. But even so, it's kind of a little bit of a struggle to aim and shoot in the game. But yeah, like I've faced off I think 3 bosses now. All of them super easy. I didn't have any issues killing them at all.
It's just funny to me that like, honestly, I thought the game was good, but it's only the fact that we've been talking about it for like 3 weeks now is the reason that you're playing it. It's funny that you start out and you're like, honestly, it's not the best game I've played because it wasn't my favorite game either. It's good. Yeah. But it's just funny that it's slowly become this inside joke for us for the last 3 weeks that, like, of course it's going to not live up to the hype. Like, I think it's an alright game, but we've been talking about it for 3 weeks. Like, of course you're gonna...
And I come up here and I'm like, it's something. I just, like, I don't know. Like, it's not scary at all. The storyline is kind of really up there. It doesn't make much sense. I already kind of have an idea what it's about. I kind of already think I know what the twist is, what I mean, of what it's going to be, of what I've been shown and what I picked up throughout playing the game. But overall, like, I'm mocking it. I'm just saying it's still a decent game. Is it worth picking up to play? I'm not actually really sure, to be honest. I'm still playing through it, but what I've played so far, I mean, I'm already 5 chapters in, and you told me there's like 20 chapters.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I think so 18.
18 chapters, so I'm already a quarter in the game. And I don't believe, like, some people say, like, oh, you have to play more of the game for it to be good. If the good's not good right off the bat, it's not a good game, in my opinion. You can't just, like, pull that bullshit. The same thing with television. It's like, oh, you have to get past, like, the first 10 episodes, then it really gets good. It's like, fuck you. If the first 10 episodes are shit, then the thing is shit. I'm sorry. It doesn't make it magically better.
Yeah.
But what I played so far, it's not glitching in any way like you see in other games, like in Fallout 4. None of those glitches happen. It's a well-designed game. I give it that. The AI's tracking to get to you, it's pretty good. I've been able to get like the zombies and bosses caught on something, so slow them down a bit, but they quickly fix themselves to get around it. There's this one like mini boss I ran into. It was not to give any spoilers. It was like the doctor's friend. And he turns into a boss,
Oh
and
yeah,
I immediately just get him caught on a curtain thing he's behind. I just shot him with 2 explosive arrows, and he just died instantly.
yeah.
And the game was like chapter B, like section B. Congratulations! Like what? I just shot him twice, and I just won.
I remember that guy. Yeah, that was such a.
It was such a build up too. It's like, oh my god, he's actually a monster! Watch out! And you just kill him instantly, and it made me laugh because I thought it was gonna be like this huge kind of fight again, but it was nothing much.
I think the same thing happened with me. Is I was carrying. You can carry like a physical object, and if you use it once, it's typically an insta kill. But because this guy was
so
a
you're
boss,
carrying the torch.
yeah. So I was carrying a torch, and I just beat his head in once, and then shot him in the face once, and he went down like a pile of bricks.
And actually, I have a small question for you. For the zombies, if you blow off their heads, do they still come back to life?
They can. They can have holes in their heads, but as long as their head is entirely attached still, then they
Okay.
can.
Okay, so then I've been wasting some matches sometimes because a lot of times I just blow their heads off completely.
The other
Most of
thing,
the times, actually, I do. So I don't have to waste matches on them then.
if you shoot, okay, it's been a couple years since I played, but if you shoot them on the ground, I think you can go over and you can start like stomping on them, and you can tell that they're dead by the fact that it doesn't give you the ability to stomp on them anymore. But you've got to stomp them like
20 times, yeah.
a
You can,
stupid amount of times.
yeah. The pistol actually does just fine, and like I said, this game gives you a generous amount of ammo, which I think is not a bad thing because it's one of my things I don't like about some games is that they give you a chance to defend yourself, but they give you like no ammo. Like I started replaying Resident Evil 1 for a bit, like the first Resident Evil, and they do give you a gun, but man, they give you no ammunition for the game to a point where it's just frustrating because you still run into constantly a lot of zombies over and over again, but they're just basic zombies. So you can either waste all your ammo on them or actually save it to huger threats. Which in the end you kind of have to use your ammo on them because you have to go back and forth that game a lot to do it, and that's why I find it annoying. But with this game, it's all just getting from point A to point B in Evil Within. There's no really massive map to the game. It's all just streamlined. You have to go this way. And they actually give you a good amount of ammo. Health is... You don't regenerate health, which I like. And the health pickups are actually they're handed out in a good amount too, I think, though. I think the health pickups are handed out perfectly well. There's also... Yeah, there's the one enemy that... The only thing I don't really like about the game, like I officially hate about the game too, is just there's this one enemy that's invisible. And you'll, like, the first time you run into him, you just run into one only. I'm like, oh, he was another mini-boss. It's like, nope, you run into them, like, all the time. Have fun trying to kill an enemy you can't physically see at all. And you waste so much ammo on them, and they do so much damage to you, too, which I found annoying.
Which difficulty are you playing on? Because
I'm
I remember...
playing on the hardest difficulty you can play on right now, so I guess it's normal. Because it's, if I remember correctly, there's 4 skulls. It fills up 3 of the skulls that I'm playing on.
Okay, and a skull is like a difficulty scale or something?
Yeah, I think it's a difficulty scale.
Okay.
So I remember when I clicked on it, there was one more skull left that could be filled. And it's obvious that you have to beat the game before you can get to play that next level, the hardest difficulty.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, I'm surprised because typically, I found
to play the highest level.
Well, I found that ammunition was hard to find. Maybe later on, but like, I had a favorite weapon, and I couldn't use that weapon constantly. I don't think you've got it yet, so I don't want to like say it, but.
So what I got so far is the pistol, the shotgun, the sniper rifle, and the crossbow.
It's an upgrade to the crossbow. I'll just say that. But,
okay.
Yeah, I guess I remember having real issues with ammunition. So I'm surprised that you're not. But I mean, if you're switching out
I switch up weapons a lot, but I also mostly just stab the regular zombies. If you sneak up behind them, you do an instant kill behind them, and they die instantly.
Right. Okay.
And so, like, then they don't come back up either. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I give the game shit. It is, like I said, it's well designed, but I'm not really caring for it. I'm just trying to get through it to beat it. and maybe so I can pick up Evil Within 2 and play that after playing this one.
I'm officially granting you off the hook status if you don't. If okay, we've been talking about it for 3 weeks. I mean, if you're only a quarter of the way through,
I got so far, and like the game is not bad. There's just some small gripes I have with it, honestly. And now I gotten this far, I just need to beat it because I don't want to start my whole thing again where I start games and I don't finish them. I need to finish my games, you know. I own this game, I should finish it. Otherwise, I'm just throwing away my money in most cases.
Let's not even get started on the Steam library again.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's just an endless list of pain to look at.
I'm definitely going to be picking up the Evil Within 2. It might even be a first day release pickup for me. So, if you want, you can finish up the Evil Within 1. But moving forward, like you don't. If you're just not feeling that series, like I can take that. I can take it over.
I'll try to put some more gameplay into it. I'm gonna try to beat it for the next one. I think it'd be fun for us to both play Evil Within 2, honestly, and I think it'd be better if I just finish this one off, and then that way I can compare this one to the next one. Because, like I said before, the game still holds up. The game, for being from, like you said, was like in 2014, still playable today. Just not my cup of tea. Especially because I think I was more let down of it because it was really highly claimed to be a horror game. It's not scary at all. I haven't yet found any scenes that's actually scared me at all.
See, that's just you. I'm a scaredy cat. I already know that, but I was scared. You can say what you want, but yeah, I got scared.
I played like Amnesia, and Amnesia scared the crap out of me when I played by myself. And I played a little bit of the demo of Resident Evil 7. Now, was it for the PS4? What one was that? What's the latest?
Oh, the new one. Yeah, that was 7.
7, yeah. We played that one together, too, when we used to be living together. And we had the VR thing for a bit. That one scared the crap out of me, too.
Mm.
So those both scared me. And I do sometimes get scared of games. It is harder for me to be scared of them, though. Like, Amnesia, at first, like, was really scary for me. But after you kind of learned that the monsters had, like, a set path, it became less scary.
Yeah.
And like that Alien game that came out too, it's just called Alien, wasn't it?
Alien Isolation.
Alien Isolation, man, that game scared the crap out of me. I still haven't beaten that game yet.
I don't know if anyone has. Every single person I've talked to says that they like got to see the alien for the first time and then they just turned off the game and
that's where I stopped too.
Burned the disc and buried it in the yard.
My brother beat the game, so he got through it. For me, though, that game is freaking terrifying.
Well, your brother has nerves of steel, then.
Yeah, give him credit for that one.
All right.
But yeah, that's my so far half review of Evil Within. You only can start with carrying 5 fucking measly matches in your pocket. And this dude has a lot of pockets, by the way.
This dude has a smoking problem. No.
He has a lot of pockets, and you only can stop carrying 5 matches.
Hey.
And you only can upgrade to carrying up to 30.
One match per pocket.
Why does carry just like a lighter? Just bend down, just light them that way.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Because it's kind of funny that one measly match just lights up their bodies instantly. Like, they go off like that. And then they're just, like, incinerated.
Yeah, no, you would think that they were made of, like, 50% gasoline or something.
Yeah. And I'm like, why not just carry a simple lighter? Just go, that's it. You have a limited amount for the rest of the time. I do give a credit to the game for is that you have a light source, and there is no battery on the light source. It's a lamp, and you do not have to refill the lamp at all. I love that feature. It pisses me off when you have these games when they give you a limited amount of light source, especially if it's a flashlight. It's like, what batteries are you using that only last for like 5 minutes of use? Mm-hmm. Seriously. So it's one of those that frustrate me the most about horror games or any type of games. They give you a limited amount of light time, and that's just BS, in my opinion. It makes no sense to have that.
Mm. Yeah, I'm back and forth about that. But, alright. So moving on. Being that this is, I guess our last podcast was technically October 1st, but I wasn't personally, like, in the festive fall mood. But it is now the second, I guess, official week of October.
Yep.
And Halloween coming around. And so for this top 5, I have been thinking, what are some really good horror films? So not games, but horror
That we're
films.
stepping off the steps of games for the first time. We're going over to films.
Yeah. So because because this topic, there's so many movies to choose from. Because it's such a wide variety topic, I talked to Mike about it 30 minutes before the podcast here, and we both came up with our lists. But I didn't want to just say like top 5 horror films ever, because that's such a I would have a hard time making that list. That's such a huge spectrum.
I got confused. I thought that's what we're going to do, and I actually had like 5 set up too.
Well, la-dee-da.
I'm just saying I didn't really have a hard time because I love horror films. It was when you switched it over to just like the last the 20th century horror movies. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, so that's the top 5 here is modern horror films. So films that came out.
That was a toughie for me.
Yeah, but it's films that came out since the year 2000. So we got 17 years. We can think of 5 good ones. So
no, yeah.
So Mike and I both came up with our lists. And, if you're all good, Mike, I'll start. And we can probably do the same thing that we've done before, where I'll give my lower 3, you give your lower 3, and then as we get to the top, 1 and 2.
Your second, and then I do my second, then you do your 1, and I do my 1.
Yep, you got it.
Sounds
okay.
Good.
So, for my number 5, I'm going to give it to a very recent film, being the new It remake. I thought that movie was awesome. And the only reason that it's not higher on this list, honestly, is just because it's a remake. And I definitely prefer more original films to...
That's a fair adjustment.
Yeah. So because it's not an original screenplay, that's why it's 5. But I still thought it was great. Like,
it is also one of the first movies that I am openly 100% agreed on, like everyone else agrees on too, is that it is actually better than the original Ed.
Which is a very low bar, we should say.
Honestly, because I'm actually astonished, because when I saw it, the original It as a kid, everyone was terrified of that movie. When I thought that was a joke. I thought everyone was, after I saw that, I laughed my butt off, but everyone was scared of that movie. This one is actually like a scary movie. I wasn't officially scared of it, but I absolutely still loved it.
It's thrilling. It's thrilling.
Yeah, it's a thrilling movie. That's the best way to put it.
And that's okay. So it's a good thing that you mentioned that, though, because there's a lot of aside from having my top 5, I also have reasons of why I picked these movies. And so, like, saying what are my top 5 favorite modern horror films, horror can be interpreted a lot of different ways. Like, sometimes it's great storytelling. Sometimes it's like legitimately scary. Sometimes it's just like really good cinematography. So as I'm going along with this list, I want to give the specific reason as to why I thought that movie was great. And
yeah, because like when Ben even brought up the top 5 to me, I even just re-asked him, like, all right, what do you mean horror? Because like you said, it's like there's so much you can go into with horror.
Yeah. So and it's you can just pull from so many spectrums. So along with my top 5, I'm going to give a reason for why I picked that. So the movie, the new It, 2017 remake. I picked it because I thought that it had fantastic casting. I thought that everyone that was in that movie did a really, really good job of like acting. They have the kid from Stranger Things, who I'm going to go ahead and like not name anyone by name because I don't know actors, especially child actors.
Yeah.
And he's been in a ton of stuff. Like he's been in Stranger Things, but also I've known him. I'm a big I'm a big fan of punk music, and he's been in like a majority of these music videos from this band called Pup. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Anyway, as a small side bit, go listen to Pup. No, but anyway, so he's in this movie, and aside from that, I'm trying to think of anyone specifically that I could like call out that you would know from another movie. I can't think of anyone because they're kids. Like I don't think they've been in too much.
I usually hate kid acting. It's like if I ever see a kid in a movie,
die.
I'm just saying if there's ever a kid in a movie and they're like kind of the main characters, I usually hate them. It is like one of the first movie where I actually liked every single kid actor in the movie. They were all great actors in this movie. Absolutely loved it. For that.
Yeah, And I mean, on top of that, so the clown, I'm trying to like, I think by saying that there's a clown in the movie isn't a spoiler because that's
No,
like,
everyone knows. It's in all of the trailers.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it's a clown.
I'm trying to like, I was gonna go through this list, but this one is like still in theaters, I think. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
like tiptoe around here. But the clown is like superbly good with being creepy. He's
Yeah.
if I'm gonna try to remember his name, I think his name is like
Pennywise.
Bill. No, the actor.
Oh, the cat.
His name is like Bill Skarsgård or something like that, and he's not like he's a fluent English speaker, but he very much has a what's it called when you he's got like a certain way that he
Bilingual?
no he's got a certain way that he says things that doesn't sound like completely fluent. He's got an accent. Wow, I can't believe I couldn't think of the word accent. But so he's European, and he's definitely got like an accent, and the way that the way that his words kind of like don't roll off the tongue when he's trying to like entice these kids and whatnot, it makes it creepy because it's like something is off, like the way that he like doesn't pronounce things perfectly or whatever. It makes it a little more off-putting, which I think is
Yeah.
really good in horror films.
He also has a lazy eye that he has ability to move by himself, and he used that ability too in the movie.
Seriously, I thought that was
Yep.
CGI.
Nope, that's him actually doing. He has the ability to shift his eyes to separate like that.
You think that was like in the resume? They were like must have shifty eyes.
No, it was just like one of those things that he brought up during the movie. Yeah, his name is Bill Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. Yep. Okay.
I just quickly googled him.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He was such a good actor, and you know, okay. Well, enough about it. I don't wanna press my luck here and like accidentally spoil anything. So go see it if you haven't. So my number 4 is the movie Cabin in the Woods, and
Oh God, yeah.
what,
No, it's a good movie. It wasn't on my list, but that's a fantastically good movie. I forgot to put it in it too. You're just picking these ones right off the bat that are so good.
I took a while. Yeah, I mean, I told you the list 30 minutes beforehand, but
No, yeah.
I definitely took a little bit longer to like look through every single year.
Yeah.
So, Cabin in the Woods. Honestly, this if I'm gonna be like tiptoeing around any movie, this is the one because I don't want to say anything about this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, don't look at anything. Don't look at a trailer. Don't talk to your friends about this movie. Just go
watch it.
Just find it on like I don't even know if it's on Netflix. Just go buy
No,
it.
it's on Netflix still.
Oh, awesome.
It should be on Netflix still.
Either way, just find it any way that you can, you know, and just pop it in. And to say anything about this movie would be to ruin it, and that's precisely the reason why it's on the list. Is it's the most original, unique story or like screenplay that I've ever heard. It's so weird. The first 5 minutes of watching it, you're like, wow, I stepped into the wrong movie here. This is clearly not Cabin in the Woods. But and once again, I'm going to like tiptoe here and step away from saying that. But it's just like, it blows your freaking mind. Like, fuck the twist ending in movies. This movie has a twist everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, go watch Cabin in the Woods. Like I said, I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm just going to move forward. But that one is just... originality is the reason that one is on this list. It's so freaking good. Then my number 3, and then we can jump to Mike. My number 3 is The Green Room, which
I've heard of that.
oh, it's awesome. I
know you want me to watch it. We just never got a chance to watch it.
Oh man, it's the best. So once again, kind of Cabin in the Woods. To say too much,
It would give it away.
Yeah, I guess just with horror films in general. Now that I'm thinking about it, like they rely on that thriller.
Yeah, I remember The Green Room now.
Yeah. So anyway, I can give the general plot of The Green Room, but to say anything that happens like afterwards is gonna be a spoiler. So pretty much, The Green Room follows these kids that it's pretty much like they're, to not give any specifics, they're trapped in this room and they have to escape, and there's like a gang right outside the room, and they're just completely surrounded. They're in the middle of nowhere, and they've got to escape this room. and just like every couple of minutes, these guys will like try to bash in the door, or they'll like fire shots through the wall or something, and
Yeah.
it's like crazy because it feels so real, and that's why it's on the list, is because realism. Because there's times where obviously it's a horror film, someone gets hurt, and you can like the camera zooms in on their face, and it's not like someone got shot through the heart or something. It's like someone took a box cutter to the arm, and like they've got like a stab wound or something, and you see their face, and once again, it's nothing fatal, it's nothing like overly dramatic, but they give that exact same expression that you think that you would give when you just like stabbed you with a knife or something through the arm. It's like, holy
what makes
fuck,
it great though, too, in the movies, like every wound they get makes it worse because they're trying to escape from these people. They're just trying to just escape from the situation. So any injury they get is just gonna screw them over.
Yeah.
So it's just that tension. The movie just has a great amount of tension in it, which they give major props for.
And it totally, they do an awesome job with consistency too, where like someone's leg gets broken, you see them not only like limping for the rest of the movie, but when they're like trying to chase someone, you see this guy like really struggling in the background.
Yeah,
and like
it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's super good. And the reason that it's a horror film in my eyes, it's not a conventional horror film. I would consider it almost more of a thriller. But the reason that it's on this list is because of that realism. Is because in comparison to like the movie It, where someone gets stabbed, or like whatever, whenever like someone takes harm, it's like, oh, I'm bleeding, oh, whatever. But in The Green Room, someone like gets a cut from a knife, or someone like takes a bullet wound, it like they're talking about it for like 5 minutes, because if you just got stabbed or shot, that's like all you'd be able to think about is, holy fuck, I just got shot, like they don't just, it's not
brush
like
it off. It's not like super like these super action guys, like walk in, they get shot, it's like, oh, I've got to wrap this up and just like burn it. Now I'm good to go.
Yeah, they like cauterize it on the spot, and they're like, okay, we're good, and then they reload the shotgun.
They're just set to go to kick some more ass. Like they start punching people with the same arm and all that stuff. It's like they're not even affected at all.
Yeah, you get stabbed through the arm. You're not using that arm for the rest of the day, if not like the week.
Yeah,
like,
the characters are also just kind of like these grungy goth band people, kids. Like they're like young adults or young teen. Not young teenagers. They look like 20 or 18 years old. So they're scrawny kids too. So
yeah. But okay, so that's so to go once again, I'll recap on my 3 and why I picked them, and then we'll go to Mike. So number 5 is It, for fantastic casting. Number 4 is Cabin in the Woods, because it's completely original. Number 3 is The Green Room, because of the realism whenever anyone gets hurt. The emotions are very real. So I'll pass along to Mike here, and then Mike. So starting at your top 5, what you got?
Okay. So basically, my bottom of the 5 is Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh man, yeah.
It's on the bottom because it's more of a comedy horror, but it's just a great story just about being in the wrong place at the wrong time and a complete misunderstanding of everything. And it's just about these two hicks who buy a cabin, and they're like the nicest. Like, it's kind of fun to say hicks. There's just these two people in the South who buy a cabin. They're both brothers, and this cabin, it used to be like, it just run down to hell. It looks like a murder shack, but they just bought it so they had somewhere to get away to go fishing. And sadly, these group of teenagers end up going to their place because they get lost. And a whole bunch of mess goes down where just they start dying. All the teenagers start dying, and it's just wonderful. I don't want to give everything away. It just Tucker and Dale are the main characters, and it's just a really funny movie where, like, again, with the cabin in the woods, you come in not knowing what you're going to get, and it's just a really funny movie.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree.
And it's not like that cheesy kind of funny horror movie. I think it's actually very well made, well put together. I love the dialogue. The acting is actually really good too in it as well. But yeah, that's my number 5. My number 4 is going to be Diary of the Dead. This is actually a George S. Romero's movie, actually.
George A. Romero, I think, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Not that his middle initial means anything,
No,
but
but
yeah.
it's actually he always has in every single movie he's directed, and I think it was his last one he did too. It's actually a zombie movie, and it's during the zombie apocalypse, and it's beginning of it, and you follow these film students. Sadly, it's actually a mix between through the camera and not through the camera too. It's one of my favorite movies that actually does do like some of this like majority of the scenes through the camera. I think they did the best. The characters in it are actually very well developed. They're not stupid in any way, which is why I also love this movie. The story, the whole scenario they were put into is great. The ending it wasn't my favorite ending, but it's still a good ending. But it is actually one of my favorite zombie movies to watch, to be true. It beats all the ones that I've seen so far, and I think it is very well developed. And I think it's something that I think everyone should see if they enjoy zombie films. They've not seen it yet, because once again, it's kind of just slid under the radar. Not many people knew about it.
Well, if I remember correctly, so George A. Romero, he has this. Okay, I haven't seen Diary of the Dead. Let me just get that right out there. But he's got this formula with movies where, like, the first one was, Night of the Dead, and then Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead, and then Diary of the Dead. Like, it's always like blank of the dead, right?
Yeah, it's usually that's how all of his movies go.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's one of my favorite zombie films out there, but it's also it's another zombie movie. That's why it doesn't really get high up there. I've been mostly, because for me, I was obsessed with zombie movies. I've been like obsessed with zombie games. So that's why it's more on the bottom, because I guess I'm more used to them. There's been so many out there. That's why it's not as high as up, but I still enjoyed it. It has one of my favorite characters in a zombie movie. They're more developed in it. The scenarios they're in are really well made. They're not like stupid at all, and it makes fun of some tropes too, which I enjoy. It's something worth saying. Number 3 would have to be that was actually a tough one between these two, and I would have to say that number 3 this one was a tough, like, I'm still on the fence for number 3.
Indecisive.
I know, it's just like the first episode over again. But I'll give it to 30 Days of Night. 30 Days of Night is a vampire movie that is placed in the Arctic. And the reason why it's called 30 Days of Night is that during the Arctic, there are some periods in the year where there's just 30 days of just pure no sun at all. There is no sun at all, and it's only nighttime.
Yeah.
And so the scenario takes place right as that is beginning, and it's all in this one village where majority of the people are leaving the village just so that because they don't want to be there for just 30 days a night. And some people stay behind to watch over the camp and all the village and all that stuff. And as soon as everyone leaves and the nights begin, all hell breaks loose, because that's when these vampires, not just like one vampire, a ton of vampires come in, and they just wreck shit up. Not the humans, the vampires. And it's just a fantastically well-made movie. It's one of those things I don't want to give too much good away, but the killings are great, the characters are awesome. Once again, it doesn't have any of those stupid tropes that you see in a lot of movies of just people being stupid. And the sub-stories that are in it are good too. You actually genuinely care about the characters in it.
Okay, sorry. I haven't seen the movie. It sounds good. I'm gonna have to try to check it out. But
It's worth a watch.
It was kind of funny because you said specifically, you were like, didn't they just start fucking shit up? Not the humans, the vampires. And I just in my head I had this idea of like 80% of the town leaves, and then the other 20% of people are like, let's just fucking raise this town. And they're just burning down their own buildings and shit. And the vampires are like, oh, fuck that. Those people are crazy.
Yeah. Well, because, there's some vampire movies where the humans are just totally easily just kill off vampires with no issues at all. What's that one with James Woods in it? It didn't make the list because it was before 2000. I forgot what it's called. He was in it. Let me see if I can quickly look that up. James Woods vampire movie. And he's great in it. James Wood vampire
I only know
movie.
of like Video Drone with James Woods. Just we let's not get into Video Drone.
It's just called Vampires. Yeah, but that was in 1998, so it just barely missed it. But that one is just great. It's it's a good movie, and James Wood's acting in it is just great. He's just so good in the movie.
Hmm.
I have that one too. If next time I'm back, we'll definitely have to watch it.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, so Mike is a connoisseur of DVD and Blu-ray collectors. No, I mean,
I
as
like collecting DVDs and movies. Like I
yeah,
love and Blu-rays, especially now that Blu-rays are actually cheap now. Before when Blu-rays came out, I would not touch them for. I wouldn't pay like $30 for a DVD.
but there's something very nostalgic or something very comforting about going over to Mike's place and seeing his shelf of like very old classic movies. I mean, he's got The Thing 1, The Thing 2. Do you have the new
by the
one?
way,
Like you've got a bunch
yeah,
of great stuff. That's
I
just
have the original thing. The original thing is black and white, and then
yeah,
I don't think I actually have the thing after that, the one that's actually really good. And then I have
John
the recent.
Carpenter's.
Yeah, I don't have that one sadly. I need to get that one, which is pissing me off. And then I have the thing that came out, the most recent thing.
Ooh,
But yeah, I
poor
just love.
form. No, okay.
I love collecting DVDs.
Yeah.
Now since I actually have a place of my own, I'm going to start collecting more DVDs again. Especially now with when my girlfriend moved in, we've been actually getting more DVDs, which has been awesome.
Yeah, it's always a treat going over to your place. I'd be down for that. Get some popcorn and just kind of like, dude, it's Halloween. Doing movie marathons is like one of the best parts of Halloween of October.
And our place is actually a perfect setting for movies too. I just what I need to do is get some more seatings too. I might find some simple like dingback chairs to get because we have a nice sized TV as well. But yeah, but those are my three. So there is Tucker and Dale versus Evil because it's just a good comedy horror movie. And then there was Diary of the Dead, my favorite zombie movie. But since it's a zombie movie, and I think the trope's been played so much, that's why it's at level 4. And then there's 30 Days a Night, just a really good vampire movie that is in a good setting. And then now we're on to our number
Yep,
2.
number 2.
Let's go to you, Ben.
All right, number dos. My number 2, and Mike's gonna disagree with me here, which is fine. My number 2 is Paranormal Activity.
Jesus.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you go on. You didn't talk about it.
All right.
I'm gonna let you finish this time.
All right, Kanye West. I'm gonna let you finish. Oh my god, can we make fun of Kanye West like at least once every episode, please?
That's totally fine with me. That's fine with me. I just like it that it's always me with you. Just like you always pick the one thing I just totally disagree with.
It's a very controversial subject. Mike and I have talked about Paranormal Activity a lot in the past. Anyway, so Paranormal Activity. The reason that I put it at number 2 is because it's the place and the people and the atmosphere that you watch a movie. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say that Paranormal Activity 2 is probably like the scariest movie I've seen. Because legitimately, it was me on a friend's bed, like at 1 in the morning, we're just watching this movie on her laptop. And I mean, I was trying to be like, big macho masculine dude, and I was like pissing my pants. So no, it's just the best part about it to me, and once again, I Mike, hold your tongue for 5 seconds here so I can explain myself.
I'm not saying shit.
All right. So my favorite part about it is that they set up the scary moments so that you know that something's going to happen, and you know it for like you can see it a mile away, but the fact that it is in such anticipation, like before anything even scary happens, you're already on the edge of your seat, and then they draw that moment out for as long as they possibly can, and then they just hit you with something. And it's not like in your face scary, it's just like it happens so casually, like a monster just comes out of the shadows and attacks this person, that it's just like, oh my god, like it's pretty much every person's nightmare of like you wake up in your room and you look at the corner and you're like, is someone standing there? And legitimately, in this movie, it's just like someone walks out of the shadows and just takes the person and just drags them away. And it's just like, oh my god, that's like exactly... I've had that fucking nightmare 100 times, like everyone else has. Alright, I hear you fucking laughing over there, Mike, so...
I'm sorry. Because, like, for me, when I was watching those movies, it's just like, for me, because, like, it would... Because I watched the first one, I think I watched the second one, too. But, like, in both movies, they put up security cameras or videos, and during the night, you'll see the camera being fast-forward, and then all of a sudden it stops during the night. That's when you knew something happened. Like you said, like, you know when something happened. That's why he was saying that you knew something was going to happen.
As a second description, or as a just a 2-second description,
yeah,
it's all based on security cameras in a house. That's all that it's filmed off of is security cameras, and then this guy has a handheld camcorder, which like he'll place in the hallway or something. Yeah. But aside from that, there's no like outside of home video that you like see through the eyes of. So with that, continue, Mike.
No, yeah, and that's one of my other beefs is that I'm not a big fan of things through video cameras, which is why I also Die of the Dead made it on the list, because they actually did a good job with that.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Oh, man. Worse is like, during the movie, you would just see this demon playing with them most of the time, just like playing with their feet or just slightly moving the door around, and that was it for the night. At the end, when like the demon finally grabbed these people and dragged them away or messed with them, I was like, yeah, get him, demon, fuck him up. I was actually rooting for the demon at that time because I was so bored.
God.
But that's like everyone else though. I know I'm actually a huge minority in this, and a lot of my friends have seen it and they actually enjoy it too. I'm a huge minority, so I'm not dissing it. I just my opinion on this. I'm not saying it's the worst movie out there. It's just a shitty movie.
Whatever. God.
But that's just my opinion. And my opinion's always right.
Go fuck yourself.
Well, then we'll go on to me. And
yeah, let's talk about you some more.
Yeah, that's all it's been. This podcast has always been about me.
All right, whatever. What's your number 2, asshole?
Number 2,
that movie's shit.
I love you too, Ben. Is Pitch Black by Vin Diesel. It is about it's a movie way in the future, and it's about this ship that's carrying it's a ship that's carrying colonies, and well, actually, not carrying colonies. It's just carrying people to transport them between civilizations to civilizations, and they're all asleep. But sadly, something happens to the ship, and it crashes on an unknown planet. And on this planet, there are these creatures that live in the shadow. Like they cannot withstand like sun or anything like that. Which is totally fine because like the planet has 2 suns on it, so they think that they have plenty of time in the world. But sadly, they find out that people used to live on the planet, and sadly, I think it's like every 10 generations, there's just like darkness throughout. I think a whole 6 months or something like that. And so it's just about a movie about these people trying to escape this world. And they needed assistance. Actually, they get assistance actually of someone on the ship that was actually a prisoner, and he's like this famous killer and all that stuff. But the person who plays it is Vin Diesel, and it's just a really good action horror film. And the creatures are really cool, and so are the characters. Once again, it's one of my favorite sci-fi films. Well, not my favorite, but one of them that's in the 20th century, and I've watched it like 100 times. It's kind of cheesy, but I still like it a lot. Vin Diesel's great in it. Love him. But that's my number 2.
Vin Diesel's better in Fast and the Furious, by the way.
That's true. That's just more of a reason to go see it because he was in Fast and the Furious.
They should just take Don Toretto from Fast and the Furious and just have him play that exact same character, but in Pitch Black. They have like this new colony of people.
He's actually the exact same person, dude. It's Vin Diesel. He only knows one role, honestly.
They're like,
besides playing Groot, all right.
I want to see a movie where it's Don Toretto and he's like, I told Brian that we were gonna go to the moon together. I hope this is good enough for you, Brian. It just shows him landing on the planet. And then the rest of the movie, the monsters are like jumping out him, and he's in like his Dodge Charger, just like running him over. there has to be a YouTube channel of someone that just like syncs up movie trailers with same actors to make it look like one movie. Because
Oh yeah, there are.
I would love to see a Fast and the Furious Pitch Black, or like
Have you seen the
the
movie?
Pitch Black and the Furious or something.
Have you seen Pitch Black?
I saw it a long time ago.
Yeah,
There's been a couple ones since then, right?
yeah. They made a. There's a Chronicles. I think there's
Riddick, right? The
three.
Riddick Chronicles.
Yeah, I have two of them. I don't have the third one. It
Yeah.
gets really weird after that because all of a sudden, the character plays. Vin Diesel plays the character named Riddick, and so that's why it's called Chronicles of Riddick. And in the end, for some reason, like in one of the movies, he becomes a god somehow, and it gets. They're not bad. They're good action film movies, but the first one, Pitch Black, is a horror film. Obviously, it's about basically short terms. Just people crash land on a planet, then they just try to escape the planet because the creatures that live there are just freaking vicious as hell and will kill you. And for some reason, they can't withstand the light, so they're basically like vampires in the end, but just monsters.
When you can't think of an original enemy, just smashed you together. What about vampire monsters?
Vampire
Whatever.
Dogs. I just enjoy it because I just love it, though. I don't know why I like it so much, because like you said it that way, it's super just a cheesy idea.
No,
But I enjoy
I'm just trying to shit on it because you fucking
Dude, but it's a
shit on
good
my
point.
Paranormal Activity. Fuck
Paranormal
you.
Activity is a shit movie.
Go, whatever. I'm done with you. Number one. We're moving on to number one. All right, Mike. You and I might have the same number one because we've definitely
I
had
know
this
we-
conversation
we
before.
I already know we have the same one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So number one is The Conjuring.
Yep,
Yep.
that's fine too.
10 out of 10.
Just watched that again 2 nights ago. In fact, with Lauren,
Yeah.
it is fantastic.
Conjuring follows a haunted house. So original. 10 out of 10. But what is interesting is that they like pseudo base it off of like real events. So they have these two people in it who are like these Christian exorcist married couple.
Yeah,
Dudes.
they-
But
They
married
hunt
couple.
ghosts and stuff, and they kind of do it on the side of the church because they're not official with the church, but in the movies, the church kind of uses them as a way to see if there's actually a reason to do the exorcist, so the church doesn't look stupid when they show up.
God forbid.
And these two
No.
people make an actual career about this, and they're like you said, like Ben said, they're real people. They did exist.
Yeah.
That's,
And so, not that that's the scary part, but it was an interesting thing. Like it made it a little more layered, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Conjuring follows a haunted house. These two exorcist-ish type of people come in, married couple, hand of God, all that. And
the Warrens. They were called the Warrens family.
yeah. Mike, if you just watched it 2 days ago, why don't I let you take the reins on
Okay, yeah,
explaining
sure.
this one?
So
Obviously,
the
no
con-
spoilers, but go for it.
Yeah. So The Conjuring is about this family, a husband, a wife, and their 5 daughters.
Fucking Christ! They
No,
were busy.
wait. Is it 5 or is it 4? Give me one quick second to see. Yeah, they're 5 daughters. They have 5 daughters.
Jesus
And
Christ!
so they buy this house. The husband is a truck driver, so he's usually gone most of the time. But they buy this house, and then they recently find out that actually the house is haunted by. And the reason why it's haunted is because of a curse that was placed on it, technically. I don't want to get into details about it because, once again, it's one of those movies they need to go see. And sadly, and they start experiencing these weird events. And during the movie, you then switch over to the Warren family, which, like we explained, is the husband and wife who hunt down ghosts. And it kind of shows, and the ghost shows them, and it shows their experiences, all that stuff, actually hunting ghosts through lectures they give out. And that's how the family runs into them, and they actually invite them over to deal with all this haunting. And that's when shit just hits the fan then too, when they're invited to the house.
I can't remember exactly. It's been years for me since I've seen it, but it's just like,
Really?
yeah. Well, at least it's been. Yeah, we watched it last year actually. Okay, it's officially been 1 year this month, but
It's like you said though, it's so good that I can go into more details. Like I know, but it's so good, and it's something you should see. Because I say this a lot. I said this a lot already. Explaining the other movies. The characters are really well developed. the family is not stupid. You know, it's like because there's a reason why they can't just leave the house, and they explain it. They explain in the movie why they can't, and you just actually care about these characters. The movie does such a good job of just you actually caring about this family. They're not just a bunch of like spoiled brats either. It's just a very loving family, and you want them to, live in the movie. And the Warrens, in this movie, I actually don't know how the Warrens really work, but in the movie they make them actually very well-rounded people. They know, like, they accept the fact that yes, they hunt ghosts, and they realize that people think they're crazy and all that stuff. But they're just like so well grounded too, so that you actually like them too. No matter like what your positions is on like ghosts and all that stuff, you actually like these characters too.
They don't come across as crazy. I can see like the Warrens showing up to this family and they're like, "We're here to help you with ghosts," and the husband answers. Well, yeah, the husband answers, and he's like, "You're wearing your underwear outside of your pants, you know that?" And he's like, "It's time to go ghost hunting."
The wife goes in, just waving her hands out, "Ghost!" Woo!
Gotta break out the holy water. That's Heinz ketchup. Gotta spray it everywhere. All right, your house has been treated. That's gonna be $75.
But the tension in this movie is actually like good tension, not like that shitty movie Ben put in second place. It's real tension. And when it finally like scares you, it's legit scares. It's not just pop scares too.
It does a really good job with building up, and the progression is decent.
What building up, and what's the word I'm looking for, to just I'm having a brain fart, the word I want to use, but to actually use all the tension they build up properly. They actually execute it so well at the end of the movie.
It's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, when you reach the climax, it's just great. The climax is great, and the lead off after is also good too. Yeah. The Conjuring 2, I've seen the second one. That's a pass of a movie. It's not bad, but man, that movie's slow as fuck.
I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Conjuring 1 didn't rely on too many jump scares, and I'm okay with a jump scare, but as long as you've got to be unique about it, and you can't rely on it, you know?
It's not like they have like those stupid jump scares, like someone's just like, it's all quiet, then all of a sudden a family member just taps on the back of the hand, like, oh, jump scare! They don't do any of that bullshit.
No, I mean, Conjuring 2 I thought relied on jump scares too much.
Yeah. And just the story, the overlying plot of it was so far stretched that it was like, really? That's like the climax, like the whole, oh my god, really?
Yeah, the ending of The Conjuring 2 is also really weird.
It's like the climax of when you finally understand everything, when you learn like what's actually going on. It just like it's stupid.
Yeah, that reveal was mediocre. Anyway, but yeah, go see The Conjuring 1, and then just be prepared if you go see The Conjuring 2 that sequels don't really hold up as much, but yeah.
Yeah, because we watched The Conjuring 1, then we watched Conjuring 2 after that.
Okay. So I do want to tell a quick story about The Conjuring, which I think, Mike, I've told you this before, but it's so good. It's so rich that everyone needs to know about this. So, The Conjuring, based on a real story about the Warrens, when they first started doing or getting popular, there was this author that was like, oh, I want to make a biography about you guys. So he started compiling all the information and interviews about the Warrens, and he wrote this book. And the Warrens, they get a royalty, obviously. The book is about them. But the author worked into their deal that he would have the exclusive rights to the contents of the book, being like the exclusive rights to writing about the Warrens. Yeah. So, now this movie comes out, and this author says, hey, that's kind of bullshit, because if I remember correctly, I've got the exclusive rights to that. So, if I remember correctly, it's Warner Brothers that made the movie.
Yeah, it is Warner Brothers.
Okay, awesome. So, he goes and sues Warner Brothers for stealing his content and his exclusivity. Warner Brothers says, oh no, this is all, like, this is real life stuff. Like we can talk about the Warrens because they're real people. It's not a story we're ripping off of you. And the author goes and says, "Really? Really?" Because if I remember correctly, I mentioned a whole fuck ton of ghosts and ghost stories in here. That sounds pretty not real to me if you ask me. Who's ever been able to prove ghosts? So, to summarize the lawsuit that Warner Brothers has against them in the most glorious fashion possible, the only way that Warner Brothers can legitimately win this lawsuit is if they can prove that everything that it was shown in the movie is based off of real situations, including the ghosts. They have to prove ghosts exist to legitimately win the lawsuit.
I fucking love it. It's great. It's like, did you ever figure what happened to that case?
No, I don't know. I heard that it had resurfaced when The Conjuring 2 came out, which was like 2 years ago, and I haven't heard from it since. So, I don't know, but I'm very interested to hear the details, because it sounds, they must have settled out of court. They had to. You know? It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Warner Brothers has to prove that ghosts exist to win the case.
So, apparently the suit has been pushed to 2008, so the trial is going to be in 2018.
Oh my god. Can you imagine that
so
author...
it's still going on right now.
Can you imagine how pissed that author must be? I mean, he's probably been like... They've made 2 movies. They've made more movies. They made that Annabelle movie as well, which was... I don't know if the Warrens were in that one either, but they've made like 2 or 3 Annabelle movies, and they've made 2 Conjuring movies. I feel like this guy is going to be pretty fucking pissed about this situation, and they pushed it off for like, what, 7 years now?
Yeah, because the movie came out in 2013. The Conjuring came out in 2013.
Okay, so it's only been 5 years. They've made a movie almost every single year then, from the sounds of it. That's so ridiculous. Oh,
so yeah, so the basic last update was Warner Bros. Might be very happy with the big bucks success they had with the Conjuring franchise, but the studio can't be pleased that the federal judge today decided the studio will have to. The federal judge said this, that they will have to face trial in 2018 for copyright. And the judge said this, that they're actually in trouble for copyright infringement.
Oh my god, that's so rich. I would love to be in that court case. Just
I hope this is public. I would
just
tune in
sitting in the back, you know. Oh god. Okay. So I did want to say, as always, I want to give some honorable mentions. So I've got 2 honorable mentions for this top 5 list. The first one is called Quarantine. And that one is a handheld show, or a handheld movie as well.
That was going to be mine as well. That's the one in the apartment building, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep, that was actually going to be my honorable mention as well.
Damn. Dude, great minds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Quarantine, it's a handheld, but it does a good job of not being too shaky because it's all isolated in one building. So it's not too much like running and moving the camera around. It's like pretty much there's a monster in the building with them, and it's like as they slowly sneak up the stairs, then, you know, obviously when you're like sneaking to check out the rooms, the camera's a lot more stable, and they do a really good job of like holding it straight and whatnot, but really good build up there. And then the other one is, there was a Amityville Horror remake, and that one was really good. That came out at least like 10 years ago. It was a while ago at this point, but still technically fitting our modern horror film era, and I thought that one was really good. I haven't seen it in a long freaking time, but go check it out.
Mine was going to be It Again, because that was in my top 5, but another thing I just want to talk about it, why I really enjoyed it too, is that it's like one of the first movies that's about killing children. You don't see that at all in movies these days, or in any games, in fact. Just the idea of killing children. Like, I'm not like, hey, let's have more of that stuff into it, but I'm just saying that it did a great job actually having a film about something that's so dark about killing children, that actually no one brought that whole subject up at all. I thought some people might bring that up, but no one did. And I think it did a fantastic job of telling the story, too, of that. And I give it major credit for just having a story about killing kids, too. I'm just saying, you never see that in movies or games. And that's just impressive that they did that.
It's just... Sorry, I do agree. But it's definitely one of those no-context situations. If someone
Man,
just
why don't you go pet a dog? Seriously, just go pet a dog, you psychopath.
Pet a dog?
I killed everything, but I still pet the dog, so that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's
you know
right, from Undertale. Yeah, okay, that's
Fucking
right.
Psycho.
That's probably what It the Clown is saying. He's like, I killed all those children, but look, I got this pretty sweet dog over here.
Yeah, I gave him a balloon.
Okay. So
that's the top 5.
Yeah, and so we typically do like a news story or a rant around this as following the top 5, but we couldn't really find anything that we both agreed on. There is stuff that's happening this week, like there was the Nintendo World Championships.
That's out? I didn't know that. You didn't bring that one up to me. I didn't know about that.
Well, exactly, though. It's like neither of us were pretty informed on it. So I felt bad kind of being a voice of, like, news when I didn't watch it, you didn't watch it, you know?
So is that still going on, or is that over?
I think it's still going on.
So what is it actually about? Do you know anything? Is it just, like, Nintendo games?
No, this is why I didn't want to go over it, because I don't know anything.
Well, you should have looked up it then. It would have been cool to go over.
I looked up a little bit. It's like... a championship. There was a winner. They played some games. I think they played Splatoon. I think they played Splatoon, but that's about the most I know from it. They might have like announced some stuff. I didn't hear about that. Anyway,
okay.
Moving forward.
Well, there's actually one news thing I'd like to bring up is that the Dead by Daylight game that I talked about in the first podcast, they're getting a new character in again. And that new character is probably going to be Freddy, actually. So I'm pretty excited to see that come out.
So do they have Freddy and Jason now?
No, they don't have Jason. They have Michael.
Oh, right.
You know, they're basically the same thing. And they also have Leatherface, too, in it now. So they have Michael, Leatherface, and now they're going to have Freddy. I'm pretty excited. If they get Jason, I'm going to laugh my ass off. That'd be great if they got Jason.
Yeah.
That's one of my little side news. Like yours was like Nintendo's, mine was just like, oh, Dead by Daylight's getting another character, and it's gonna probably be Freddy. I'll tell you next week if it actually is, but that's what everyone's saying right now, though. It's gonna be Freddy.
Yeah, sure. That would be interesting. It's cool that they're like doing all those adaptions, but
no, I think that's how movies should be placed into games. Honestly, I think that because we both agree that most movie-based games. Games that are based off of movies are just absolute shit, except for a very given few. And I think that they should be more like DLC or side stuff in the main game.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that we can talk about another subject. I think that's like for maybe next podcast we can down into that.
Yeah, maybe we could do like top 5 best game adaptation or movie adaptions, because granted there are a couple. There's some good
that
ones.
should be a fun one.
Spider-Man 2 or something.
We'll save that for later because I think we're gonna try to stick with just more Halloween themed stuff this month.
Yeah. So, well, since we said that,
I don't know. Like it seems like we want to though. I'd be down for that.
Well, yeah, of course. But what I'm getting at is like we want to stick with a Halloween or like a kind of horror theme, but at the same time we couldn't really agree on a news story that we wanted to talk about for this segment. So we both agreed that we could go a bit more in detail about like games that we're looking forward to this month. Because if you didn't know this and you're a gamer, I don't know if you've been under a rock, but there are a crap ton of awesome games coming out this month. It's insane.
Yeah, they are.
Like every single platform is getting like 2 or 3 AAA games, and it's unbelievable. But anyway, so I'm gonna run down the list.
And why don't you say those? Because like what I did this time was that I went on Steam's list and what's coming out. Because actually Steam has their own thing telling you what's coming out, and they do it in actually order. And I provided for just so we have some variety too. I just picked out some games that are not AAA's. They're kind of just indie games are coming out just this coming week, and I just picked a few. I don't know much about them, but they look interesting. and I just want to give them some notice. But tell us the games that are coming out there, like the AAA ones.
Yeah, so let's talk about the AAA first, and then we can go into like games that caught our eye after that. Like we typically do our sign off of just like, oh, this game's coming out, this game's coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, so October 10th being today we're recording this on the 8th at like 7 o'clock here. So we've got like barely over 24 hours before Middle-earth Shadow of War comes out, which is the second game in the Shadow of Mordor, the Lord of the Rings
First one was
game.
hella fun. That I haven't beaten that yet, but man, just like that game, there's so much to do and it's so much fun.
See, if you know stuff about this game, then go for it, because I was unconvinced with the first one. Not saying that I'm not eventually going to play it, and this game looks great, but if you know stuff about it, then yeah, go off on it. Go for it.
I know everything about the first one. I know sort of about the second one. So in the first one, there's like a whole revenge system, and so in the first one, you actually your loved ones get killed by orcs. So then you're set off in raids to kill all these orcs. And to do it, you kill all their commanders in charge. And you get to see this, too. And each commander in charge has their own background story, their own characteristics, their own hates, their own fears, and everything. And you can run into these characters on the battlefield.
Do they have their own loved ones?
Sadly, no. You cannot kill their loved ones, which would be freaking hilarious.
I killed your wife, and now I'm going to kill you. The orc is over there like, holy fuck, this guy means business.
And so, like, in the first one, you can actually... So when you beat them, you have multiple choices. You can kill them, interrogate them for information, then kill them, or turn them on your side by mostly, like, mentally, like, taking over their brain. And so then telling them to go attack another commander. So when you go attack that other commander, they come in and, like, do extra damage to them before they're killed off, and then they die.
This is the new one you're talking about, right?
Oh, this is actually just the first one. And so what's great, too, though, is that if you die in this game... it's okay to die because it's actually part of the game. If you die, you don't have to die in the game, but if you do die, it's not like an instant game over, because in the game you get infused with this spirit, and that's somehow it keeps you alive though after death. You just get teleported to the spirit realm and then you just come back to the real world.
So do you know anything about the new game coming out?
Yeah, so in the new one you build up your army against Mordor, and you build your army of orcs. So you do this by taking on the commanders again and turning them onto you, or you do favors for the orcs and they become your army. So it's the exact same features, but this time you build an army. So you actually have like this huge, massive army and attack fortresses and stuff. So you can have like wolf riders come in, catapults and stuff, assist you. And like they all control themselves. I think there's some commands you can give them, but like then your main objective is while your army is fighting them, you come into the battle too, either sneaking in or just going full blow in with them. And it's just like this huge different scenario then. Because the first one's all about stealth, because it's just you in these orc camps. But in the second one, it's you in this giant fucking battle where you have your army and your own generals fighting with you and all that stuff, taking on other people. And you also can build up fortresses too. So it took what it had from the original and build it up to even greater things to do more stuff.
I had heard, too, that, this is just a buddy / Middle-earth fanatic of mine that I was talking to yesterday, but he mentioned that those generals, that there is the rivalry system. What is it called?
It's like, well, because like when you first see all the generals...
The nemesis system.
Yeah, because they become your nemesis if they defeat you. They gain buffs too if they beat you, and so it's like that's why it's called a nemesis system.
Yeah, but
sometimes even when you beat them, they sometimes actually live and they escape, and they get extra buffs or debuffs sometimes.
Yeah, but my buddy was saying that like these generals, these guys that are in the nemesis system, they have improved on that so much in the second one.
Oh, that's good.
That they've got over 100 specific orcs in the nemesis system that they like have their own voice lines. They're extremely unique. They're not just copy paste. So they've got at least 100 different variations of these generals, and that sounded pretty cool to me.
No, that's great, because even the first one, you don't it didn't really feel anything was copy and paste in the first one at all too. And it was always great when you run into these people that got away, because you just legitimately hate them too. It just you remember these characters too that they're even because I felt in the first one they made a good job of actually making each character unique in certain ways. Because when some got away or some killed me, I remember them instantly as soon as I see them. I go straight for them and try to kill them again. It's like, but the game is also very challenging too. It's not one of those simple hack and slash games. You have to be smart with your kills and stuff. So you can't just like run up at them exactly because they'll have guards too, and they'll be surrounded by other squads. So you have to figure ways out how to deal with the situation by using explosive barrels, traps, or stealth kills. In the first one. In the second one, it looks like you're going to need to try to have a well enough army so that when you take them on, you won't be overwhelmed by his army.
Okay.
So it'll be very interesting, like how that goes down in the end. Because like in the first one, it was all about stealth, but in the second one, it's going to be a mix because you have a whole giant army knocking on the front door, so they know you're there.
Right. All right. Well, we got let's see.
So what's else coming out?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got like 5 other games to go through. So let's move on here.
Yeah.
So Shadow of War that we were just talking about comes out on October 10th. The next game that I'm looking at, obviously, Mike, probably not so much you, but maybe a bit, is Evil Within 2. That comes out October 13th. So that's in 4 days from now. So
I should have the game beat by then.
I don't know. There's 18 chapters, and you're traveling tomorrow and stuff. We'll see. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I'll be staying in my hotel doing nothing, so I'll be either jerking in or playing games.
Why not both? No. So
challenge accepted.
Evil Within 2, I guess I can't really say too much about it except that I'm excited because I've purposefully not been looking into it. Like, if you haven't seen the trailer,
some gameplay. It looks very different. It seems like a different story, so I'm actually excited for it. Because, like I said about my last one, I wasn't excited about the story, but the design of the game is very well done.
It seems like it's more surreal in the second one. But they've got, I guess it's not technically a live-action trailer, but they've got these trailers where it's like everything is white and there's like people in this white ocean. It's hard to describe, but if you check it out, it looks pretty interesting or intriguing.
I saw a few trailers.
Yeah, like it doesn't show any gameplay. I haven't seen any gameplay, but I can tell you 100% I'm excited about this game. And I mean, I wish I had more to say about it, but like I said, I've been purposefully like keeping myself kind of like not opening Pandora's box of checking out any gameplay. So we can move on. But yeah, so Evil Within 2, October 13th. And like
hopefully you can carry more than 5 matches when you start the damn game.
We'll see, bud. I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Matches
are heavy.
Yeah, and then when you finally upgrade all the way up, you carry up to 30. I'm like, Jesus.
But this, honestly, I'm just looking at the this month and the games coming out. It's like every couple days there's a new game. So South Park, The Fractured Butthole, is coming out on October 17th, which, 5 days after the Evil Within 2. Like, I think everyone, we're going to have to, like, pick and choose which games we want to play, because there's no way you're getting to Shadow of War, Evil Within 2, South Park, and then these other ones.
I feel like Shadow of War game, though, is like something you can never really beat. I feel like it's going to be one of those games that's going to take a long time to deal with.
Yeah.
Because in the first one, you can't just run up and beat the game at all. So I might be skipping the Shadow of War.
Yeah, and I mean, I never played, not that you need to play the first one.
You don't. I just don't think I have the time, because in the first one, you need a lot of time to play that one, and I know for a fact I'm just not going to have time to play the second one. Not saying it's a bad game, I think it's going to be a fantastic game, but just for the length amount it's going to take me to probably play with it, I'll probably get bored of, I'll probably get distracted by another game until I beat it.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not picking that one up, because in 3 days Evil Within 2's coming out. So then 5 days after Evil Within 2, South Park: The Fractured Butthole, like I said. Have you heard anything about that game, Mike? Did you play the original?
All I know is that it's going to be good, because the South Park people really took they really want these games to be like episodes of the show, so they do take care of the story and of the design of them. And I've only heard good things of the first one, so I'm pretty sure the second one's just as going to be as good.
So did you play the first one?
No, not at all. It's something I didn't really care for.
It's
Turn-based
gonna be
game.
good, but it's not my
Well,
cup of
it's well.
tea.
The thing is, though, it's a turn-based game, and I'm not saying they're bad games, but I don't like turn-based games.
Yeah. So that was one thing I heard is that they improved on the combat. But I mean, take that for what you want. I thought the
Except for
combat.
XCOM. I love XCOM. I need to pick up the second one and play that one. I played the first one, absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Well, not to go off on a tangent, but yeah,
Yeah.
XCOM 2 is good. Anyway, so the South Park, the first one, the Stick of Truth, that one, the combat definitely was lacking versus like the story was, typical South Park story. It was nothing like too intense, but it was funny. The narrative was fine. The voice acting obviously good, and
Got glowing reviews.
yeah, no, I mean it's kind of tough because it was a $60 game, but it was really short. But at the same time, I mean, it was a really like polished game. It looks you would not be able to tell the difference between a South Park episode and this game if you just
Yeah.
like walked in on someone playing it and walking around the town. The characters, like when you move around, they have like just basic nonchalant dialogue.
It felt like South Park. You were in South Park.
Yeah, and no, so I mean, I definitely enjoyed the first one. I don't know, I didn't pay $60 for it. I waited till it was a little cheaper.
Makes
So
sense.
I think for South Park: The Fractured Butthole, it's probably gonna be a pass for me right now, but I'd like to
I'm not
eventually get
playing it.
around to it. Um, and then so there's a couple other games I'm seeing here. I don't know. So like, I guess on that same day, so on October 17th, there's three other games being released with South Park, which I'm not a big fan of, so I apologize if you're looking to hear information about these because I have none to offer. But there's Just Dance 2018. I don't dance.
I don't care.
Tokyo Tattoo Girls, which I haven't heard at all about, so maybe that's good. I
I
mean, if
came across that.
what is it?
No, I mean, I just remember seeing it. I don't know what it's about, but I remember when I was looking at my list of stuff to look for. You said it was coming out the 17th? You
Yeah,
said?
I just clicked on it. It looks like an anime
Yeah,
type of
it's
thing.
obviously an anime thing.
I mean, I'm not against anime, and I don't mean to like
Neither am
offend
I.
anyone with
No,
that.
yeah, I actually enjoy watching anime, but I don't enjoy watching shit anime. I enjoy watching good anime. But
It's very subjective.
well, I'm just
Um,
saying, there's a lot of anime out there, and sad, a lot of it is shit.
yeah.
It's the
There's
same thing with movies, though. There's a lot of movies out there, and a lot of them are shit movies.
yeah. So okay. Then the last game that's coming out on that exact same day is WWE 2K18, which wrestling
We should probably
games.
buy that game, and we should stream that.
It would
I
be-
just love, man, wrestling games are just fun to play with people because they have a great, hilarious character creation system,
yeah.
and they're just funny because they're glitchy as hell, and they're just simple, stupid games.
I've got 2K16, and I made the tallest guy I could with with pure white skin, like not Caucasian white, because that's still like, a beigeish kind of color. I mean like pure like white. And I made him as tall as I could, and I made his arms and legs super tiny. So it's just this super tall guy with a massive torso and tiny limbs. I got destroyed. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we don't have to talk about those games because
Yeah.
I honestly know nothing about them. But
Well, I did just find Tokyo Tattoo Girls, by the way. Do you want me to give you the quick descriptions of it?
I mean, without really having any kind of interest in the game,
It's just another anime game. Just skimpy girls and stuff. Nothing special.
I don't know. I'm
Just-
still willing to give it a shot, and like I'm still willing to do my own research into it. To call it just another anime with skimpy girls is like,
Well, like, all I see are photos of maps of a map of the game, some girls in skimpy outfits, and the last photo is a butt-naked girl laying stomach down on a Japanese bed.
so you're telling me it's a day one for you, Mike? You're buying it on the 17th? You're gonna be waiting in line?
Yeah,
All right.
I'll have a video up the next day.
What are you playing? Oh, like Asian sluts. No, this
See-
game's called Tokyo Tattoo Girls. Yeah, whatever it's called. It's the same
See-
fucking shit.
I would probably do that if Steve didn't tell everyone what I was playing. All my friends what I was playing.
Oh man. Okay, so at the end of the month is the probably one of the greatest video game release days I've seen in a while. This lineup is unbelievable. So there's 3 games coming out, all on October 27th, and they're doozies. So I'm just going to say all 3 of them first, and then we can get into them. First one, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Second one.
That one. That one looks cool.
Fuck yeah. Second one, Assassin's Creed Origins. I've heard that it can be kind of like Black Flag, I heard was good. This one sounds like it's got the same amount of hype. We'll see. And then the final thing, fucking Super Mario Odyssey. 10 out of 10 already, I can tell you that. Masterpiece.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you actually have the Switch already.
Dude, you can find them in stores.
Oh, yeah, no, they have them out. I just need a...
Get off your ass.
No, I have allowance. Get me gun home on everything.
Okay, so let's start with Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Mike, did you play Wolfenstein The New Order?
No, but I want to play it. It looks like Doom, like the recent Doom game. So it looks like it's just like a fun, stupid shooter.
You play as an American, and you are in Nazi town, and you just kill every fucking thing that sees. It is the most basic, generic, gung-ho type of game you've ever heard.
So it is Doom. Just replace the monsters with Nazis,
and,
which is the same thing.
Well, the other thing, too, is that he just, like... The lines are so fucking stupid. It's the best game in the world. I mean, is that overstating it a little bit? No.
I'll have to play it now, it seems, because I've been dying for another simple shooter game where you're just like a badass.
Yeah, Wolfenstein 1 New Order is great. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus, it just, like, the first one was gimmicky because it was just so absurd. Like, the writing was just so bad, and they knew that.
The second one looks just as gimmicky.
It doesn't, though. It looks legitimately like they improved on the story a lot.
Talk to a lizard.
What?
There's a scene in the trailer for the second one. A guy gets high and like talks to like a imaginary lizard.
Okay, I didn't see that, so maybe I might have to refrain from my redact my previous sentence.
And there's also a scene when they're about to get in a boat, and there's a guy just fucking a chick in the boat while everyone's trying to get in the boat.
All right. Well, now I feel like a dumb person, but
I'm just saying, it looks. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's gonna be really gimmicky. It looks like.
It doesn't matter. Like, I still want the same amount of absurdness to it, but I will say that the story, and I'm not looking for a huge amount of story. Actually, no. Let me take that back. Sorry, not the story was lacking in the first one because I didn't care about the story, but the atmosphere definitely didn't feel like it fit. Like, it was so totalitarian, like Nazi, like big metal hunky whatever, and like that was cool, but you didn't get the sense of like this is everyday Nazi life. This new one. Like, there's scenes where you're in a diner, you're, like, walking on the street, and
I see what you mean now.
Yeah, people are celebrating, like, white pride and just, like, weird shit. And, it, like...
You see how the people react to the Nazi SS stuff when they see them. They don't like them, but they obviously don't say it to them.
Yeah.
You actually see the daily lives of normal people.
Fuck yeah. I mean, I'm so excited. Yep. Game of the year. I know I'm saying...
Oh, no.
I'm saying a lot of games are Game of the Year right now.
And Doom, though, like the remake, the recent Doom that came out, jeez, that game was fun. And if it's anything like that, then yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, Doom and Wolfenstein, they've been hand in hand for a long time, man. I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure it's pretty.
I'm excited to play the first Wolfenstein now after just your review because I just like sometimes just sitting down and just being a total badass. It's nice.
You just murder everything in that game, and the best part about the first one is that you can dual wield any weapon you want. You start off and within 5 minutes you've got an AK-47, and within maybe 2 more minutes you pick up another AK-47 and you hold one in each hand. And if you've never understood just the serene, beautiful world behind 2 AK-47s, then you just haven't really lived. You can dual wield machine guns, shotguns, everything. It's the best. So, okay, that's Wolfenstein 2 or Wolfenstein 1, and hopefully Wolfenstein 2. Hopefully, what it's gonna be. Yeah. Next thing, is Assassin's Creed Origins, which I haven't played an Assassin's Creed in probably a dozen years, I'm going to be honest. Mike?
I played the Black Flag one. I didn't finish it. I didn't really care much for the assassin gameplay, but man, that pirate gameplay is fun. It's really fun, dude. It's like being the assassin part is really boring and just doesn't matter. But being the pirate and stuff and like taking out ships and boarding them, that's all I played, and like that's the only thing I ever did in that game. And I didn't play the main story at all. I just went around attacking people, upgrading my ship, and just going out to sea. I didn't give a fuck about the main story.
Yeah,
So I don't think I'll be playing this next one because it's not gonna have pirates in it.
Yeah,
It was the first best pirate captain game I've ever played. Because you're actually like controlling it from the helm and all that stuff. It's so good. The pirate songs, like everyone says about the game, are good. Just like boarding the ship and taking on the captains and stuff, and like taking on the crews. It's so much fun.
Yeah, like that sounded like a legitimately interesting Assassin's
nailed
Creed.
it. I wish they made a game just like that, but got rid of the assassin story. Now, the assassin story apparently is very popular, but I really don't care about it. I played a few other ones. I tried getting into it. I just couldn't. They actually being like the assassin scenes are just very boring, and like it's just kind of silly because you play as assassin, but at the end you just murder all the guards because you're just a badass. If it was more like you would just get killed by everyone, then yeah, it'd be a lot more interesting. But in the game, you just kill everyone easily, so it doesn't really matter about being stealthy or an actual assassin. You just walk in, kill everyone, kill your target, and just leave.
I remember that my biggest gripe about Assassin's Creed games is that it has the name assassin in the title, and yet if you kill too many innocents, like, you lose. I mean,
Yeah.
you would think that you would have more liberal actions, or like you think that they would be more liberal with your killing actions because you're a killer.
You're an assassin. Yeah, you kill people for a living.
Yeah.
Your job is not. Life doesn't matter to you.
But
as
so
an
I don't know
assassin.
if that feature's still been in the games, but I remember that was one of the most off-putting things. Is
Yeah.
I couldn't just go around like medieval or Renaissance
The main
times.
storyline is that you go back in time for this machine and you live through your ancestors, through your DNA.
Yeah,
So it's like if you kill too many civilians, you distort history.
it's bullshit.
I'm like, what? It's the storyline is really just stupid. I remember the ending of one of them. Apparently, there's aliens involved too. And
God.
sorry for the spoiler, and sorry for people. I'm not even sorry. It's just my damn opinion. I mean, I have my rights to my opinions. It's just a stupid storyline.
So Assassin's Creed Origins probably a pass for both of us.
Yeah.
For now.
If there's no pirates, if there's pirates in it, then I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like how the pirates, like how Black Flag had the pirate ships in it, like that was their gimmick for that game. I haven't heard of a gimmick for Assassin's Creed Origins. I've just heard that it's got a lot of hype behind it, but I don't know why. You know?
It was not really a gimmick. It was actually a full-fledged part of the game.
Yeah, but well, I mean, a gimmick as in like this is our novelty for this game, and this is what
for this
everything's
one,
centered.
yeah. It's
Sorry,
pirates. It's
well,
not
yeah,
bad.
like gimmick. The word gimmick gets like a negative connotation, but I really don't use it as that. I use it
would
as
say
just
it's
like
the theme. I'd say this one's the theme of pirates this time. You're in pirate realm this
Yeah.
time. I think their next one is supposed to be in Egypt, so it's gonna have like an Egypt theme to it.
yep. So Origins because you're in kind of like the
Which is funny because the developers made fun of people thinking it was going to be an Egypt one when before the Pirates one came out.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that they've thrown these ideas around all the time, and they're trying to like decide when the best way to
Release.
or yeah tell the story is.
Because like no matter what, with so many people now access the internet and everyone coming up with their own ideas, eventually someone's going to nail what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, just pick a random time in history and be like, what if there was one during the American Revolution? And then someone's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that already
They
happened.
did. Yeah, they did that one too, didn't they?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, if we're just going to both keep berating on it, then there's no reason to stick on the subject. Super Mario Odyssey, Mike. What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be good. I mean, Nintendo rehashes Mario all the damn time, but every single time they do it, it's a good game. And it's going to be good. I just know it. Everyone knows it. Nintendo does their shit right.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing much else to say to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, like
It's
the last
I don't
couple...
have the Nintendo Switch, so I won't be playing it, sadly, but I know you will be playing it.
Fuck yeah. I guess the last couple Mario games that came out have been kind of lackluster because they always typically have one signature Mario game per console. And
Yeah.
for the Wii U, it was Super Mario 3D World, which had the like the cat suits.
Yeah.
And
That was more oriented to seem like a family-friendly game where everyone can just play together.
yeah, it wasn't like a storytelling like single person adventure. Like this one feels a lot more like in the Mario Galaxy or like Mario 64, where it's, collectibles, you go to different worlds and you like help out people for a star for whatever. And in
Yeah.
comparison, Super Mario 3D World was just it felt like a 3D side scroller game where
Yeah.
you
You
just
complete a
get to
level.
the flag.
Yeah, and you have to beat enough levels to get to the next section. There's no dialogue with anyone, and then there's bosses throughout to save each. Because in that one, there's multiple princesses. So you just do a level, beat enough levels to fight the final boss and all that stuff. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a Mario game though. I mean, I don't know what to like. I never really expected much of a story from a Mario game. It's like, oh, hey, you're in this world now. Go defeat Bowser or whoever is the evil villain in this one.
Well, see, I didn't really like the Mario Galaxy gimmick, and a lot of people did, but I found it really
What was
difficult.
the Mario Galaxy gimmick?
It's that it was like you can. It wasn't like a flat planar.
Oh yeah, it was a planet thing. It's all just run around one little planet thing.
Yeah, it was like an orbital. Like every time you moved around a world, your camera like kept its center of focus on the planet, and you kind of like ran, and you could run around the entire world. And some
Yeah.
planets were like as small as asteroids, and some planets were huge. And then in Mario Galaxy 2, for the most part, they were like, okay, fuck that idea. They got rid of a lot of like the orbital or the spherical maps, I should say, and they replaced it with like welcome to the zany galaxy. But aside from like being in the galaxy, like the planets they weren't they weren't spherical. They were just like it felt like Mario 3D World essentially. It was
Oh,
flat.
okay, flat. Yeah.
And so yeah, Mario Galaxy 2 is good. Mario Galaxy 1 wasn't the best. So realistically, the last game that I really enjoyed from like a Mario like console, Mario Galaxy 2, sure, on the Wii, but even before then, like was there even a good one on GameCube? Cuz Sunshine.
GameCube.
Super Mario
Yeah,
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Yeah, the one
So,
with
yeah.
the water pack.
Yeah.
That one was really popular too, and really people just said that it was very well designed. game.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that I've got as much hype for Super Mario Odyssey as I
Well, yeah, you get control
as
of a
Super Mario
T-Rex.
Sunshine.
Dude.
Yeah. And the gimmick looks good, like what you're doing in the game looks cool. You can throw your hat and you can take over different monsters and like
Yeah,
that-
you actually can be the enemies and stuff. You can be Bullet Bill, which is cool.
Yeah, and that sounds so much more appealing than like this shifty, crappy camera in Mario Galaxy. I was never a big fan of that. So
And it
I'm-
looks like it's back to like the open world, like I remembered when I played Mario 64.
Yeah, precisely. So I'm very happy about that. And that's the list for the games coming out here. But yeah, this month is gonna be crazy, man. If I can,
Yeah.
I'd like to finish up Evil Within 2 when it comes out in 5 days, and hopefully in
Yeah, my
time
goal
for
is to
Mario
finish
Odyssey.
Evil Within 1, and then play Evil Within 2, and then I'll probably be playing Dead by Daylight just to see, because I think the new character's coming out next week. I have to look up when it's coming up. If it comes out next week, I'll be playing that one if I get a good internet connection. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But yeah, so my thing will be finishing Evil Within, and then I'll be switching over to... I'm not sure what I'm going to be playing after that, if I beat it before the next one comes out.
Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus. I'll play Super
yeah.
Mario Odyssey, and you play Wolfenstein 2. Or at least
That
play
sounds-
Wolfenstein 1 or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll beat Wolfenstein 1 instantly, because like, if it's anything like Doom, I'll just crush that game.
Yeah.
I'll be so into it.
Yeah, you just no mercy rush through it. It's awesome. Okay, so because that was kind of separate from our previous like news/rants routine, there's still a couple other games that are coming out that Mike and I both wanted to mention that are coming out on Steam. So
Yeah.
I've only
I'll
got
go-
one. So if you don't mind, I'll just rush
Yeah,
through
go
this
for
one
it.
first.
Yeah, because we're already going on an hour and 44 minutes, so...
Yeah. Okay, so the one that I found, if I can find it again, I might have closed the tab actually. I'll have to look it up again. Mike, why don't you start with yours then?
Okay, so I'm going to go over mine, all of mine, pretty quickly. One of them is coming out the 10th of this month, and it's called Deadbeat Heroes. It's a simple beat 'em up game, top down beat 'em up. You beat up certain villains in one area and go on to the next one, but you play as a hero. You can pick from multiple abilities of your character, which is just like you can have freezing abilities, power fist, lasers, invisibility. It's a 3D design game. It looks pretty cheesy looking, but it looks like a simple game to pick up and play. It's a simple beat 'em up, and that's gotten called Deadbeat Heroes, made by Square Enix. That's the publisher. Developers is Deadbeat Productions. The next one is actually a copy as a game that's actually exactly the same thing as a game that's free off of the Half-Life 2 source. It's called The Hidden, where one person plays an invisible creature, and the other four players play as a squad, and they try to kill the creature as the creature tries to kill them. And this one's called The Unseen. This one's coming on the 12th. Like I said, four people play a SWAT team. The other one plays a monster that you cannot see, who has like ability to kill them with super strength and stuff. It's been if you want to get a basic idea of it, look up The Hidden on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers have played the game, and you'll get a gist of what it is at. I'll probably be picking it up. I'll probably take a look at it because, once again, I can't play multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that's coming out that looks like a cute puzzle game. It's a top-down puzzle game. It's called Where the Cards Fall, and it's a normal world, but the world gets added onto as you do these certain things, and it gets added on by these cards that fall down and actually make houses, vehicles, and all that stuff. It looks like a very cute style puzzle game. I'm going to be picking up this one because I haven't played a puzzle game in a while, and it looks very cute and simple, and a nice design. Another puzzle game that's coming out in October 10th. It's called Unworded, and it's just puzzles that you try to solve with words. And by words, I mean you actually take the letters and stuff and combine them together to make stuff. And it looks very well done. And it's gotten already a bunch of awards, too, from the game. If I quickly go to the trailer and go to the end of it, it'll be showing. Yeah, so it's got the 2016 Tokyo Game Show Award, the 2016 Showdown Best Art Award, 2016 Radius Festival, 16 of Indie Game Contest, Respawn, Indigo Showcase, Unity Showcase, Unity LA, Game Connection Selections, Game Connections Andrew, Best Story, and Nominee Casual Connect. So it's got a whole bunch of rewards, and it's a puzzle game with a bunch of rewards with a cool art style to it. And so I'm definitely picking up that one, giving it a go. I'll probably be in a single day, honestly, but I like puzzle games.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm seeing a theme of cute puzzle games.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of puzzle games, and I wouldn't mind having a podcast talking about a few I played beforehand too. I might do a top 5 after we do Halloween stuff.
Top 5 puzzle games? That would be interesting.
Yeah, because I like I said already, I do enjoy puzzle games. There's sometimes I just want to sit down and enjoy a very unique puzzle game.
Right.
You know, don't deal with enemies or anything else. Just a nice, pretty game. I don't like those walking simulation puzzle games, though. But yeah, those are the top 4 I had that coming out. They're all coming out this week. Once again, just to repeat them: Deadbeat Heroes, The Unseen, Where Cards Fall, and Unworded. You were able to find that one game?
I was, and I'm super stoked about this game. So I wasn't expecting to find anything like more than half decently good looking on Steam. Not that I've got anything against it, but typically you hear about these games beforehand. Like, I mean, obviously Cuphead, we've been talking about that game for, that was announced 4 years ago. So,
yeah. You guys should definitely check out Ben's video on that review, too. It's really well done.
Yeah.
So what's the game called?
Okay, so this game is a horror game. It comes out October 20th, and it's called Welcome to Hanwell. And I just randomly clicked this link, and it looks super good. Honestly, Mike or anyone else listening, Welcome to Hanwell. Just Google it right now. For an indie game, I'm just surprised at how good this looks. But anyway, as it's described in the summary, it's an open world horror set in a city which is your worst nightmares have become everyday part of life. Explore a dense open world of terror where every building and every unique location has its own story to tell, strung together by the remnants of Hanwell. So I'm just watching the trailer right now, and it's kind of got this very Silent Hill feel to it, where you just kind of like wander around the streets, and it's very foggy, and sometimes there's monsters in the fog, and you've got like a very basic weapon to defend yourself with, but occasionally like a gun, you'll get like a gun or something. But realistically, you just wander this empty town, and it's foggy or it's raining or whatever, and
Oh
then
wow, this is a different game. Like that, there's another game you showed me. You didn't show me. This is. Oh wow, this looks really good.
yeah, I know. Like I said, I just pulled this up right before the podcast, and I was
Oh
like,
okay, yeah, because you showed me another horror game I didn't much care for. This one looks really good.
honestly, it looks straight up like Silent Hill. Like it looks awesome.
Except in first person, and I love trying to find first person horror games.
Yeah.
And so I'll be definitely picking this one up.
Yeah, and so to continue with the story, so from what I can tell from the summary, is that so you're in this town and you explore the buildings, but every different building you go into is kind of like its own mini story where there's like clues of what happened there and whatnot. From what I can tell, when it says your worst nightmares have become part of everyday life, it's probably like you open up a building, like an apartment building or a convenience store or whatever, and each building you kind of have to piece together what happened there and what like what the story is. But I mean, it just looks fucking sweet. Honestly, I just randomly pulled this up, but go look it up. Welcome to
Nice
Hanwell.
find, dude.
I
Nice
know.
find.
So that's pretty much the only thing I've got to say. It looks
Yeah.
sweet. I don't know. I'm gonna
yeah,
have to pick
October
that up.
20th. Keep an eye out for that, guys. All right, and then I think with that, I think we're gonna exclude our podcast. Ben, why don't you say your podcast? I mean, your one YouTube channel for the review of Cuphead one more time.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate it. So I started a new YouTube channel, and it follows like reviews of games, but it's also going to follow. Or it's going to take more of like an informational standpoint. So, like my Cuphead review, for example, it kind of talks about the old 1930s animation styles, but also goes into my critiques about the game Cuphead. But it's called Dissection of Design. And if you're interested, go check it out. Otherwise, not a big deal. But Mike, I appreciate the 2 seconds here for that.
No, it's no problem. I think it's a good way to end the podcast too. So that's the end for the podcast, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Yep. Bye.